still trying to process the new NFL world he lives in. Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Doug Baldwin didn't have many answers on Thursday to questions about the league's new national anthem policy. He wasn't quite sure what the next steps forward were for the players. He wasn't quite sure what the next steps forward were for his team. He was sure of two things. The first being, despite the NFL curtailing their right to peacefully spotlight the issues of police brutality and racial inequality in the United States of America, the work from the players to foster change through community efforts in local, state, and federal legislation would not change. They would continue to go about their business of changing the system from the outside. The second wasn't quite as touching, but to Baldwin, true all the same. Without hesitation, he called the President of the United States an idiot, never missing the opportunity for a victory lap. President Trump, who called players protesting during the national anthem "sons of the keys that should be removed from the field" last September, was ready to double down, with the NFL creating a policy Wednesday that does just that. The new rule states players can stay in the locker room or out of sight if they don't wish to stand for the anthem, but must stand if present during the anthem's playing. Trump was more than happy to celebrate his win while finding a way to criticize a part of the new rule. "I think that's good," Trump said on Fox and Friends Thursday morning. "I don't think people should be staying in locker rooms. But still, I think it's good. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem, or you shouldn't be playing, you shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem, and the NFL owners did the right thing if that's what they've done. I think the people pushed it forward. This was not me. This country is very smart. We have very smart people. That's something that could have been taken care of when it first started. If they are doing that they are doing the right thing." Baldwin had very little time for that rhetoric when asked to respond to the president's words. "He's an idiot, plain and simple," he began on Thursday during his first press conference of 2018. "I respect the man because he's a human being first and foremost, but he's just being more divisive, which is not surprising. It is what it is, but for him to say that anybody that doesn't follow his viewpoints or his constituents' viewpoints should be kicked out of the country, it's not very empathetic. It's not very American-like, actually, to me. It's not very patriotic. It's not what this country was founded upon. So it's kind of ironic to me that the President of the United States is contradicting what our country is really built on." Doug Baldwin fired back at President Trump on Thursday. The veteran wide receiver continues to take exception that NFL players who protested during the anthem were disrespecting the flag and/or military, and expressed sadness that he still has to explain that the protest was actually about spotlighting police brutality and racial inequality. He's disappointed he still has to explain that to the public. He's disappointed he still has to explain that to the President of the United States. And he's disappointed, better yet hurt, that he still has to explain that to the NFL owners and Commissioner Roger Goodell. The Seahawks are now fitting their new pieces into specific roles. Don't miss any updates. Stay informed right along with us. Take 5 seconds to sign up for our free Seahawks newsletter now. He thinks the new NFL rule misses the mark and inflamed a situation that was naturally beginning to dissipate by itself. There was real hurt in his voice, describing how Goodell's word choices made him feel when the commissioner released a statement explaining the new rule. "I don't want to say that it's exhausting," he said of the job, explaining the message behind the protests. "I will say that it's a challenge. It's a challenge that I've been willing to partake in and take on. It pulls at the heartstrings, I can't lie. It was very emotional for me to read Roger Goodell's statement, specifically the part where he says that it was disappointing that the narratives had misunderstood that our players were unpatriotic, which he stated was completely false, but in the same breath the next statement saying that everybody will stand in respect, as if what we were doing before was disrespectful. Again, it pulls on the heartstrings because the demonstrations, the reason why we were even having the conversations that we were having was because there was a loss of life. Say what you will, it was never about disrespecting our flag and our military or anything in that regard. It was about saying that the loss of life that was happening in a particular community, there was frustration and enough was enough. Athletes, celebrities who have a platform to speak up for those who don't have a platform wanted to use their platform to do just that. So it pulls on the heartstrings. It's a challenge. It's frustrating, and while trying to press forward through a confusing time and a deep topic, he did have one more challenge for the president, and he used what he knows best to make it. I will say that football has always been my release, and so I'm thankful that I get to come out here with my teammates every day and really as a team demonstrate as a team what unity should really all be about, he said. And I wish that our president could come and see what it really takes to unify a team, a nation, a group of people together. And Baldwin's last critique of the president, if he ever reads it, may just hurt a little bit more than simply calling him an idiot.